episode, a solo episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.
I'm Julie Podewitz. It is winding down here, 2024, in my short series of what I learned this year or slash what was reinforced slash what's on my mind, sharing with you in hopes that it helps or entertains, reinforces any of the above. Hope you all have had a tremendous year. It is often said that we learn from mistakes. We learn from the challenges, right? Potholes on the road to life. And this, I believe, is very true. And this is true this year for me professionally and personally. And it was a very insightful year in that way. When something doesn't go well, that initial reaction of "Ugh," it's so natural, and I am 100% guilty of that. It's taken a, a real life commitment to work on the mindset of, hey, okay, what are we learning? What are we doing here? Sometimes I just don't know, but I do know that I will, with that mindset of, okay, we're moving forward. Let's learn or let's grow from this in whatever way. Mindset is, oh boy, it's everything. It really is how we show up. Uh, the it's put really simply, how do we show up? And again, we're each of us are held accountable only to ourselves and how we show up. What's our attitude? How are we showing up today? How are we showing up for this call? How are we showing up to work? How are we showing up for our friends? What's our mindset? What's our attitude? I had to do a professional kind of retreat this week. And when I say I had to do, I should say I had the opportunity to do it. And candidly, I didn't feel like going. I really liked the group. I learned a lot from them. They're very, very different in scope. We're all entrepreneurs. We are all in various business verticals. It's not a senior living. It's not even a sales leadership group. A lot of different businesses at different places. Some people have been in business 25 years. Grow Your Occupancy is starting its fourth year. Statistically, we are in like the over better than 1% of success with startups, and certainly in consulting startups. And I'm really proud of that. But I'm also always like, oh, I don't know, we need to do more. We need to do better. How can we influence in a positive way, more people in sales, more people in senior living, more people in small business, people in business, people who want to learn and grow and lean in as it was coined I think that's more than a decade ago now. So it was this 2-day kind of retreat that was scheduled long in advance this week for Monday, Tuesday. And candidly, I was just like, oh my gosh, we had our company meeting last week for strategy session for 2025, and it was so good. Very positive, but those things that can be they're revitalizing, but they're also emotionally draining in a good way, but in a real, because you just put it all out there and just on on the end of a lot of travels, just back to back to back to back. And now I have to go on this retreat. And I really felt that way, like, I have to go, I have to go. And I didn't want to. And getting in the car, just organizing and packing, and I've got another trip next week, and getting in the car, and I really was like, oh, and I thought, you know what? This is what you have right now, the present moment, talking to myself like, okay, Julie, you're going to get out of this what you put into it, and how you show up to this thing also not only affects you, but what are you contributing to the group? And if you go there with this attitude, you're not contributing anything. You'll likely take away, meaning be a negative force. And the last thing I ever want to do is be a negative force in anything. So that simple shift of no, I still really don't feel like it. And I really didn't feel like I had the time. uh, I left feeling that next day, that next afternoon, much, much better, more empowered. I did learn things, and more of that like that connection and empathy with others. And if you're not in a peer group or in a coaching in a coaching program, or working with another person, or even a team of people, or virtually, or even if you're listening to this, you're in a growth mindset of learning, or at least maybe being entertained, or uh, hopefully not put to sleep. But I do listen to podcasts right before I go to bed. It kind of lulls me to sleep. But I would challenge you to do that, to seek somebody out or a group, because simply talking through in a trusting environment and listening to others do that is incredibly helpful. And it's not always to get to an answer. It's not to get to a solution at that moment, right? It's almost like, therapy, where you're not necessarily, okay, at this session I got to figure out my entire life, or why I feel this way, or what's the underlying emotion that's driving my actions right now. It's a journey. And this, the road of life, this journey we're on, like, what car are we getting into? In other words, how are we showing up on the road? This is a huge takeaway. It's a learning lesson, a continued learning lesson for me. And I'm incredibly motivated by the people I work with here on the Grow team, and then the people that we work with, all of you, the operators, the boots on the ground, your sales directors, EDs, regional directors, VP of sales, COOs, CEOs, investor groups, people that really want to continue to, like, okay, dig down, learn, grow, be vulnerable. Hey, can you look at our website? Where are the areas of opportunity? Here's our data, or can you meet the team, or let's do a SWOT, or let's do mystery shops. Um, let's do a coaching intensive. Is this person, do we have the right seats filled, on our bus? And so on and so on and so on. So many people poised for growth. So many people have grown. There's so many acquisitions, dispositions, and having a strong infrastructure for your business. And your business is what you do, whether you own a business, whether you work a quote unquote job, which is your business. Your job, your career is your business, and the infrastructure is a fundamental foundation on which you perform. So your organizational structure, your benchmarks, your expectations, how you structure your day based on what output you are required, what's required of you. How well does that all work? The input, the output, and then the levers and the wheels, if that's how we if how we literally could see it, what needs to be pulled up and pulled down and twisted and turned and improved, and the rust cleared off. Have you ever seen a documentary, ever been in a music producing sound booth, and the producers there with all the levers and the, pushing this and pulling this? It's like that. The infrastructure of your business is like a music producer's end product, right? Is that record, is that song, is that performance. You're the choreographer of your business, of your life, really. Big topic, boy, here at close of the year. A couple things I want to mention as I close out this podcast. A couple things I heard recently that I was like, oh, I want to share it with you. Was on a call with one of our clients' communities out west, and she said, "I want to share a warm fuzzy with you." I said, "Oh, please, please." This is sales director, and by the way, and I struggled with the ones and the twos and some months of zero move-ins, working together, really focusing in on that the narrow with KPIs, you're going to move the needle. A +7 this month, last month a +4, the month before, I think it was a +5, the month before, +2 of net, right? And there's 7 with 3 smoking hots. That's a magic number of 4 to hit their occupancy goal. And then I think just maybe 6 more to go to 100%. So really phenomenal growth here at this community. And she said one of her move-ins for December is a professional referral. Yay, because that's one of their benchmarks is really to wean off the lead aggregators. This professional referral was their mailman, their postal carrier professional. And the male this male person has to be mailman was speaking to an adult child at her home as he's delivering the mail, and she was talking about her mom, and he said, "Look, I deliver mail every day and have done for years, every single community in this area. You've got to go here. This is where I would move my mom in." The mailman gave her the referral, and boom, her mom's moving in this month. Like that is your work working for you. You know what they do at their community, and that vibrancy and the passion and the positives and um the love that they pour into what they do every day seeps through. They do their outreach, they do community involvement, and that word of mouth, that professional referral, if they hadn't asked, that those things, are happening sometimes in spite of us. We don't know. Ask and find out. Then they also put together a really sweet thank you, kind of a one extra thank you kind of package for the male person. Like what an incredible testament. And everyone is a potential referral source. Everyone in your local community, everyone you touch, and the people that you don't even know are noticing, are noticing. And then lastly, I was speaking to a regional director today based in Ohio, and I asked her what her highlight was from this last week. And she said, "Oh my gosh, one of our communities in Michigan had a professional event, a music event, holiday kind of focused music event for professionals." How many professionals showed up to this one community holiday music event? 175. It's like, what? How did you get 100? How'd you get 17, let alone 70, let alone 175 professionals? She said a ton of planning, a lot of communication, a lot of work with the Chamber of Commerce, and a lot of boots on the ground and phone calls. Can you imagine? That is, honestly, I don't know if I've ever heard of that many professionals at one event. She said it was incredible. And for those of you who think outreach is dead, it's not. It's not. We need human connection more than ever. We need to rely on one another. And I kind of a full circle to what I was saying first, kind of a reminder to myself about how I show up, and a check-in with myself. How are you showing up? How are you showing up to this retreat? How are you showing up on the drive? How are you showing up to this meeting? How are you showing up today? whether, that I didn't get a full night's sleep or don't feel that great or, back to back to back travel or something got canceled or a big pothole of, business in the road. How we decide to show up and how it affects us and affects others, even probably more so in some cases. So do for yourself what you'll do for others, but keep in mind what you do and how you show up does affect other people. And we do need each other. And I believe we all want to do positive. We want, especially in senior living, I think in sales, we're here to help. And how we show up, how you decide to show up can be a major help. It can be a hindrance, but it can be the way you help somebody today. This is Julie Podewitz. Thank you so much for listening to the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe, share, give us a review. It really does help others find us and helps elevate the brand of senior living and what we do, permeate through not just our industry, but really the larger community, so that others hear about us and know about us before they need us.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.